Hey guys, Veggie Gamer back, and we're back to behind the scenes Lord of the Rings stuff. Veggie Knights, I am so sorry about how long it's been since I've covered this series on the channel, guys. You may have noticed that in general my channel has been very quiet. You may have noticed I've also had to say this at the start of each of my videos recently, guys. It's because people like different things, you know. Like if you're really into Lord of the Rings, you may but not be really into something else that I cover on the channel, like Harry Potter or something like that. And so that's why I have to keep saying it. But guys, the last month and a half, I guess it is now, has been pretty rough when it comes to getting free time to be able to get stuff on the channel. So I am so sorry about that, guys. I'd imagine that some of you may have thought, he's given up on Lord of the Rings now, because it's been over 2 months, I think, guys. I am so sorry about that. I absolutely want to carry on getting Lord of the Rings stuff on the channel, guys. Eventually, when I'm able to, I'm not sure when it's going to be. I would love to do book reviews for The Hobbit as well, because I'm fascinated to know what that's like in the book compared to the movies, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I gotta admit, guys, I really enjoyed the movies. I know that they are. You know what? I think that a lot of you guys do enjoy the movies as well, but there are definitely big changes that you didn't like. Talking about big changes, guys, on the Patreon, we're about to start Goblet of Fire in the Harry Potter reviews, guys, which apparently is hugely different from the movie, and so looking forward to finding out all the differences on that. Obviously, that will come to YouTube for free eventually. But either way, guys, so sorry about the long wait on this. So, yeah, I want to be doing more Lord of the Rings stuff. I want to, like, potentially even do the video games in the future if I'm able to live stream again, which I'd love to be able to do. And, yes, so if there's anything else that you want me to cover on the channel, please let me know. Like I always say, Jess has very kindly put together this playlist of stuff which is behind the scenes. BTS, which it took me a while to work out what BTS meant. So if there's anything else that you think I should check out that isn't on the list, please do let me know in the comments, and we can add it. But either way, guys, thoroughly looking forward to this. It is Home of the Horse Lords, which I immediately thought, oh, okay, it's going to be about Rohan. But it is half an hour long, though. I'm not sure if there would be a video just about Rohan for half an hour. So we'll find out, guys, either way. If it has stuff to do with horses, I'll be delighted. But yes, guys, as always, if there's anything else that you want me to cover when it comes to the Lord of the Rings, on The Hobbit, and so on and so forth, please do let me know. I do get some requests for the, is it Netflix? The TV series that came out, I think, last year. Which I know, like, divides the critics and everything. I'd like, if you guys do want me to cover it in the channel, then I can. Obviously, that might be a little while until I'm able to do that. But, yeah, I'm hearing differing opinions about that, guys. Some people like say, no, don't go anywhere near it. But some people like say, some people really like it. And then some people say, you know what, it wasn't my sort of thing, but I'd still like to see your opinion of it, you know? So I'm open for suggestions, guys. It's just that lately getting time to actually record and edit has been so limited. That's why it's been so quiet on the channel. Enough waffle, guys. Let's get on with this. Looking forward to Home of the Horse Lords. Yes, that's it. That's the name of the video. One thing that I should say more often as well is because whenever I post a Buffy the Vampire Slayer YouTube edit on YouTube, I still get comments from people who have been subscribed for ages saying, oh, I didn't know you're doing a Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Buffy the Vampire Slayer on the Patreon has been going for, I think, a year. I think it's been going for a year. Every single week I post a Buffy the Vampire Slayer video, guys. And so we are deep. We're actually in the second half of the third series now, which is, third series is just outrageously good. So if you're a Buffy fan, please go and check out the Patreon if you so wish. You can pay as little as you want to get access to everything on there, including the Harry Potter book reviews. But that, like I say, guys, if you can't afford it, don't worry. These YouTube edits will be coming out when I can. When I can get them done. Either way, guys, we're not here to talk about Buffy. We're here to talk about horses, hopefully. Oh, and I've screwed up. Home of the Horse Lords. Lord of the Rings behind the scenes. Nope, that's a stop button. That would be bad if I press that. Right, okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Horses. Oh, because it could have the Lord of Horses.
Tolkien are challenges, and one of the challenges of Lord of the Rings is the thousands of horses that we had on screen.
They didn't use it to travel, they do that because it makes too much noise. Or something you guys are telling me, don't they?
When you read the Lord of the Rings,
the Fellowship, I should say.
Horses are also characters in these films, and they're not just sort of props, if you will.
Pretty horses. Oh, so this is all about horses. Yes.
To incredible large charges. Horsework is found throughout.
Oh, poor thing.
And is a major part of the making of these films.
I'm sure that they were looked after, though, guys. Well, we'll find out. Shadowfax, that's his name.
is the lord of all horses,
That is a funny line, guy.
and has been my friend through many dangers.
We had two
Same hair
shadow
colour.
horses, two white stallions. One was called Blanco, another called Demiro.
Blanco.
Domiro
Oh, wow.
was the principal Shadowfax, and a diva.
Blanco is a great name for a horse. Bless. There were two of them.
That's how he lets you know he's a stallion.
Demiro looked magnificent and seemed to know he did, and was trained to getting exactly in the right position and to holding it.
Get over. Get over. Whoa.
Very highly trained.
If I want him to stand somewhere, I put him on a mark. That way I can walk off and leave him on his mark. Mark. Whoa.
Who's Mark?
Mark.
Sorry, I had to make that joke.
Boy.
And when
Poor
he
Mark.
did it magnificently, and when he didn't do it, he had to be sent back to the stables, and Blanco.
Boy.
Oh, Blanco was the
Demiro
understudy.
stepped in and without any problem at all, did it?
Okay, get on your mark.
That's amazing.
Get on it.
Why not
Get
just
on
use
it.
Blanco?
Get on it. It's quite a unique
Maybe-
thing for a horse to be able to run to a mark because it's only a small object out in the paddock, and a lot of people just wouldn't think a horse would have the intelligence to do it, but it's quite amazing how easily they pick it up and how well they learn
I
it.
think horses are pretty intelligent,
Beautiful stuff.
guys.
I don't think there was anyone in New Zealand who could have got the horses to do that. We were lucky we had Don Reynolds and Graham Ware, who's a very, very good horse trainer.
It's called liberty training. Basically because the horse is at liberty, he's free from restraints. Dig it.
Liberty
Add up.
training.
Good.
I like
Get
it.
up here. Whips are used purposely as a direction. They're not used in the true sense of whips. We use one as a guide pretty well to point the direction we want to go, and one is impulsion, which is just to give the horse a little bit of impulsion as far as just giving him that forward driving motion. Change it.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly is to keep it in
Change
control
it.
as well,
Change
but
it.
yeah.
Good boy, good. Blanco, he's a white Andalusian, enjoys his work and does it fairly well. Up high, up high.
I've actually
up
learned to
high,
ride,
up
guys.
high.
I'll
Good
talk
boy,
about that
come
after the video, but I have actually
Good
learned to ride
And they
in
trained
the past.
Shadowfax in the technique of liberty riding. And then we needed a rider that was really good. And we had this
Oh
great
my
rider
goodness.
from New Zealand, Basil Clapham, who looked...
I couldn't ride like that.
Gandalf.
Oh my god, that's creepy!
And
Do beware that you're not meant to have any stirrups or bridle or saddle, and but boy, can he ride a horse.
He was doing
Uncanny
stuff
Valley
I
is
never
strong
did.
there,
He
guys.
was riding
Look
on
at him
a
go, though.
saddle, no bridle, with a wire that came around its neck that you couldn't see that he would hold on to.
It's my lifeline.
Oh,
Speed control.
Pippin is terrified there.
Sometimes it definitely don't work, as you could well find out in the next shot.
Pippin has seen some stuff. It is time, guys. Pippin's like,
Basil had the hardest job of anybody, in terms of horse work in this movie. I have a picture of him sitting in the lunch tent, looking so sad and so tired and so red-eyed.
nice dressing gown.
And people just see the movie and just say, wow, Gandalf, awesome, but they don't realize what goes into something like that.
Oh, you have to be fit, guys.
Preparing for
Leg strength,
all the battle
especially
scenes
without a
and
saddle.
everything was quite intense with the horse training.
We get a horse on a film, we go through a desensitizing period, which is exposing the horse to all the different things that happen to him around a film
Oh,
set, and which is not so much everyday life.
that makes a lot of
Using,
sense.
like blue tarps as like desensitizers and bags hanging down so that the horses just get used to the madness that happens on set.
Yeah, how very interesting. Yeah, desensitize it to it. It makes sense.
Some
And they're
of the horses
coping
were
fine
quite
with it.
raw, shall we say. They weren't experienced in the things that they needed to be for the work that was going to be asked of them.
Originally, there was a horse being trained up for Aragorn. I mean, basically, they would try to do these training sessions where he'd get down completely on his belly so that Aragorn could sort of get on top of him, and then he'd rise up. And they start off training with a dummy for that.
Wow.
Hopefully it won't lie
Ow.
on the day.
We had to get
Oh, would have been hilarious if
for
that's
that
how
specific,
Lord of the Rings ended.
role. And Uraeus was brought in and trained up and learned
Uraeus.
things very quickly.
He was a last-minute replacement, just like I had been, So,
Ah, yes.
before I'm suddenly introduced to this new horse who's never been on a movie set.
Wow.
He's very physically strong and strong-minded as well.
Must have been pretty scared as well. If it was, unless this horse had done
he
desensitizing
did
as
kinda freak out
well.
the first day, you know, it was very difficult for him.
Oh, poor
He
thing.
got the shots, but I don't think he was very happy, and I felt bad about it, you know, for him, you know.
Good man.
You how solid the horses had to be for battle, you know, and he's going very well, very well.
About the second time we had to do something on film, he was really looking for the camera, it seemed like, and showing off and rearing and doing things, but in a more controlled way, which is great.
He's a gorgeous
I was
horse.
surprised from not liking it at all the first time. The second time we couldn't get enough of it, and hated having any other horse between him and the camera.
You can tell he's a really horsey guy, can't you?
I actually wanted to get a camera and shoot a documentary of the horses and ask them what they thought about being on the film.
I still think he likes the Kit Kats best, but he'll settle for Toffee Pops.
Oh my goodness.
It was kind of tricky not to treat these horses as being special and these ones not, because there were definite personalities. There was Florian, he was the white stallion, and he had a brood of black geldings. They were his brood, and whenever he was around them, he became incredibly, this is my brood, you know, these are my people, don't mess with them.
He is special.
Dominates.
He knows he's special. You know, he's just, yeah, personality plus. Because he's a stallion as well.
That's main,
presence,
guys.
I was just like, oh, look at that.
The stallions we had to keep separate anyway because they hated each other.
There was one day that
Yeah,
he was
I'd imagine
really
so.
going crazy, and you know, he ruined several takes, and then between takes I had to separate him. And it turned out there was a mare in season that he was trying to get to, but it's not just a question of wanting the girl, it's wanting to kill all the guys before getting to
I was going to say, you can't have that in the movie.
And then they finally figured that out.
Yeah, very interesting.
Can't threaten them. You
I'm
can't
loving this, guys. It's just about horses.
plead with them.
I thought it was going to be about Rohan.
Can't start crying and hope that they feel some sympathy towards you. Can't do anything that they normally do with actors.
With the actors. When it comes to horses,
Guilt trip.
you've got guys like Vigo, who is a very capable horse person.
Vigo
You could tell.
put in so much effort to work with the horses, and he would come out earlier than what he was required. He'd come out, he'd go out and catch his own horse, bring it in and groom it, saddle it up, and we'd go for a ride.
Yes.
Well, I've made a lot of friends in New Zealand, but I would say he's, without question, my best friend.
Oh, don't. Don't.
Uraeus was a horse that Vigo spent a lot of time with.
I like
because he
Vigo,
wanted
guys.
The bond between him and Brago to be something that you were able to sense on screen, and so the only way to really do that was for him to bond with the horse in real life. And I know that Vigo occasionally would go to the stables.
Yes, I'm a
and
movie
actually
star.
speak with the horse. I mean, you know, Vigo's
Oh,
pretty
my
amazing like
goodness.
that. He could have been in a hotel, but he wanted this to be a very real relationship.
Well, I was near the horses, but I didn't sleep with the horse, despite you know, rumors to the contrary. Which I have a feeling that Dominic had his hand in spreading some of those.
He put a lot of time in when we trained Brago to lay down and push for the two towers when Brago rescues Aragorn from the riverbank.
Now get over, you can roll me a little ways if you want.
Okay.
Even if he's trained to do that, he'll do one if we want, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Okay. Head down, push. Head down, push, pushing, pushing.
Wow, it's
pushing,
amazing.
Pushing, push, 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 push.
I mean, I know it's in the movie, guys, but seeing the training for it is amazing.
Good boy.
What a clever
He's very
horse.
confident around them, very relaxed around them, so they respond really well to him. When he's on a horse, he just looks like he should be there, which is, yeah, I think it's really special. You know, not many people have that.
Those who
Yeah, they definitely cast
had to
right,
do
didn't they?
Riding on camera. Carl Urban.
Well, I think that some of you guys were saying that he's a bit young for the role.
And
Right.
Orlando Bloom as Legolas.
Obviously,
we were
he-
able
you
to
know,
do our own.
Aragorn ages differently, but he should be more aged, is what I'm saying.
Before we started filming, and I was training like mad to do the horse riding and stuff, and I don't know, it's all come together here, which is amazing because we're in the horseman's country, you know.
You didn't know how to ride horses before?
I'm riding a guy called Percy, but it's nice that we've got a real connection now, and I feel like I can really ride him well because the elves are renowned for being, you know, excellent horsemen.
See that thigh strength.
Horses on set. He's certainly the boy. He's a great ride. Couldn't do it without these animals.
God,
I think
Orlando
all
Bloom's
actors
accent is not what you'd
cope very well
expect,
with
isn't it?
good. I mean, I haven't really got any notes. I think it's you just working your way into it, and let's just do a couple more takes. Let's get it good. Yep.
It was kind of challenging, you know, because I hadn't done much horse riding before, but I sort of really have grown to love them. They're beautiful animals. I really do love them.
They're
You have to
so
bond with each
majestic.
different animal, because sometimes we get a different horse, and it's like being back at square one again. You know, they can be quite temperamental if they're having a bad day, and they're getting their hooves and they're stamping them in the water, and you know. So, but no, I'm really enjoying working with them. They're fantastic.
I didn't even actually know that Culloden was actually a New Zealander, guys.
Was very loyal, affectionate, and extremely helpful to the actors.
Too long?
No, they're about right. Are they? We're disturbingly familiar. The same kind of same measurements and everything.
Bernard came up for a lot of lessons, mainly because he enjoyed it, not especially because he needed extra lessons.
Oh, it's
but he
really
threw his
fun.
heart into it.
We put him on a horse called Hercules, which was a big grey Percheron cross horse. But the horse
I'm
had a really
writing all
good
the horse
temperament.
names down, guys.
You can't just take a horse out of a stable first thing in the morning, throw a saddle on it, and then get on and expect it to go galloping down the field. It just won't do it.
No.
So our social hours with the horses were as much to do with our appreciation of them rather than anything else, you know. Used to just love being with the horses.
Spreading in fours, left, right.
Yeah, it took a long time for me to be able to be left alone with just me and the horse without a teacher and so on.
Considering the amount of riding that they do and the amount of time that they get to spend riding, it's good that they are motivated to come and ride with us, spend time, and they have a genuine interest in the horses, and they like doing it.
Go, 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 go. You're going to run out.
My horse was Dublin.
Oh, there's Eowyn as well.
He was very...
Oh, there we go, yeah.
slightly lazy, especially with a rider who's not really a rider, you know. He knew that he could get away with not working sometimes.
As soon as the actor sits on them, they know what the actor's like as a rider. You know, when the actor says,
"Oh,
"Yeah,"
absolutely,"
whatever they say to get the horse going, the horse knows whether he means it or not. You know?
I could sit on this horse and give him, like, you know, gentle kicks and be like, "Ah, ah," and this horse would just be...
Where does Merry ride a horse? Of course he does, right?
If you've
Does
got
he?
actors that don't
Without
actually
Eowyn?
control the horses all that well, they'll just take off when they hear action. So you get to where you can't say action. You can't even say camera rolling because the horses know that means something's going to happen, you know.
Oh, I bet.
So they get to the point where Dave Norris would say, and Christmas trees, or, you know, they'd come up with all these funny
That's
little
so
words
smart.
that would be my cue.
Oh,
just to
I've
trick
got
the
something-
horse so he wouldn't get too hyperactive and, you know, shoot off before the gun kind of thing.
I'm making a note of that, guys, because there's something to do with dogs as well with that as well.
On this lovely horse, Blanco, and we don't want
That's so true about them associating words with something happening.
The word action was just a curse, you know.
We will talk about that.
Every time they'd say it, he'd go berserk, you know.
Of course, they understand words.
He now knows that when it's winding up for action and stand by, and he's up and jumping around.
Yeah.
One day, I don't know if David Wenham remembers this, but we had him on a horse for this big charge going towards Gilead.
David wasn't a great rider. He's a great guy.
Which horse,
And,
David?
his horse took off on him.
Jeff was filming and
Oh, no way,
I was on my
Faramir!
horse and he called action and I was pretty much out of the frame by the time the N on action had completed being called.
And his horse just bolted.
He just disappeared. He finished up 100 yards ahead of the rest.
And there was
Oh, my
David sitting there
goodness.
going, what do I do? You know, I can't stop it. I can't slow the horse down.
Actually, the funniest thing, though, is that you'd want a shot, say, of David Wenham in foreground, big close-up, with the whole host galloping behind him. Well, you can't get that with him on a horse. So what we had was a 44-gallon drum bolted to the side of the car. With a
Oh my
saddle
God!
and a bit of mane
You're
and stuff
kidding
like
me.
that. And the actor would sit on this 44-gallon drum, pretending...
Oh my God, that's amazing!
The best
That is hilarious!
People is, and I suppose we'll be cutting here, is make out as though you're actually having sex on the barrel.
I'd say to David Wenham, "Fuck this horse, will you?"
Whoa! Thank you for the bleep.
My
particular
how
bit
it's
on the
done,
barrel
is it?
actually did look as though I was doing something to the barrel as opposed to riding the horse.
Oh my god! Actually, it makes sense.
Like
Yeah,
other
your hips and everything. Yeah.
You have to be careful how
No.
you ride the barrel, or people will watch and laugh. Basically,
Mary's laughing.
Look silly.
And they had one on wheels too.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
It was like such a hoot watching it. This stuff being filmed.
These bunch of adults here, guys, talking about this.
Delving into Shakespeare at this point.
Look at this image. Amazing. Just this image is absolutely brilliant. I cannot believe they did this so much, guys. Actually, that makes sense doing it inside the city.
By the time we got to pickups for film 3, Richard Taylor and Steve Ingram
that is the
collaborated on
motion.
building a really sophisticated computer-controlled horse rig.
Oh, that is
So it's
terrifying.
been by Jamie here, the phony pony. So that's its name on set
Phony
to differentiate
pony.
it from the barrel rig horse.
Barrel rig! Oh my goodness.
Its eyes can move, its mouth can move, its ears can move. The whole of its body can move. It would gallop.
That was the Mercedes of fake riding.
Okay, put it on full.
No! This thing is creepy, guys. This is uncanny valley. Yeah, I was going to say, it's going to start spinning around in a second.
We'll get another 2 minutes. Today we're shooting a scene for the third movie. It's the
Barrel rig.
charge of the Rohirrim and Pillinor Fields outside of Minas Tirith. It's one of the big spectacular scenes from the whole trilogy. Really.
Oh, goodness,
And
that scenery.
it's a day that I think a lot of us have been looking forward to for a long time. It was probably 3 or 4 years ago that Richard Taylor and I were talking about how many Rohan costumes he should build, and I said, well, let's make 250 because I'd love to get 250 riders on horses.
We had about 50 company horses, of which I think we used about 30 in the Pelennor field, so we needed something like 220 extras on horseback.
New Zealand is a country of about 4 million people and 40 million sheep. And that means if you're filming in a rural area, you have to count on the fact that during the sheep shearing season, you had to cast a wider net.
You'd be shooting in lambing season and nobody would turn up because because the farmers, you know, as much as they might want to be in the movie for the day, have to go and deal with the lambs.
Oh, yeah, you can't
The
do
real
it.
world kept tripping us up.
So we
That's
joined
crazy.
a guy named Steve Old and found all of our horses across New Zealand.
I'd just do a press release and call in people with horses over of a certain height, and we'd just get them in and have a look.
Never said that
I
surname
remember
before.
when they
Old.
put out a call for all able-bodied horse riders to, you know, partake in the charge at
Wow.
Colonel Fields.
Carl
It
Urban's
was like
hair
this
there.
Woodstockian trek. You know, horse riders from all over the country were coming down, you know, congregating on this one field outside of Twizel, whether they could ride or not. You know, everyone just
like
really
a
wanted to be a part of
motorcycle
it.
So the
fest
variety
sort
of
of thing, you know.
riders and horses
For
was
horses.
just amazing. But I think that would be how it would be in Middle Earth too. You know, it'd be every man and his horse coming to battle.
It wasn't easy. You know, looking back, I had a couple of Canadian guys who have been in the game for a long time. John Scott, Lyle Edge, they joined me at Twizel.
It's probably one of the bigger days in the picture as far as the horses.
What
and,
a great
the
job.
wardrobe
Horse technical
and,
advisor.
People are concerned. We've got pretty close to 250 riders here, and getting them all to work together. Columns 2, columns 4s, lineups of 50.
250 is
And,
insane.
proceed
Look
like
at them.
warriors.
Steve, send me one with armor. I need one Royal Guard here, please.
A lot of these people, and it's all
Must be a
credit to them that
fascinating
they
job,
hung in there,
guys.
had never
Horse
been on a film
technical
shoot before.
advisor.
They had no idea what they were in for. It became cold. It became very, very long days.
Some people would come, and after about 2 or 3 days, they'd go, this is too much like hard work, and they'd clear out.
They would just say, I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't what I signed up for.
So I think after the first week, we were down to about 150 extras. And they were the
Ouch.
ones who really dug it in, and that good old Kiwi spirit came out, and they were there for the duration, and they were going to make it work. They were going to make it happen.
People stay in their trucks and floats because there isn't accommodation, and also it's good to have people close to their horses in case anything happens.
You've got a perfectly good float there, so you might as well sleep in that. So, I mean, that's not a bit of flat ground and everybody's happy.
My name is Zoe Miller. I'm from Dunedin. This is Herman.
Nice beard, Zoe.
Together we travel in this truck here. and it's sort of become home. I've got things thrown here, there, and everywhere, all over the place.
Definitely a dwarf here, guys.
So basically, we just camp out in vehicles like these and have a few drinks in the evening. Meals are all provided, which are fantastic. And basically, it's just a bit of a social time.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I like horses, guys. Whoa, no, thank you. I wouldn't do that.
He's got the right idea.
Oh, let's not go back to the rig again.
Always having fun. So apart from the hardship, there was a lot of fun and camaraderie as well.
Ironically, the thing that almost brought it to a halt was the humble rabbit.
One of the most dangerous things for horses are actually rabbit holes.
If a horse steps
Oh!
in a rabbit hole, it can break its leg. It's
Oh,
right
don't.
behind it,
Yeah.
like that. So there'd be people going across the land where we were going to have them galloping, prodding the ground to make sure there wasn't a rabbit hole just below the surface because the horse would break through.
We also would, of course, before every charge, the individual riders would go out on their horses, all 300 of them, and walk their horses through the field and then walk back to the beginning start mark. And if they found any faulty ground, they were able to get it filled in.
It was.
I wouldn't have thought of that. So true. That's
more
important.
complicated. You just watch all these horses gallop and you go, yeah, that looks great. But the work
Yeah.
to do it like that was incredible.
I wonder how long this scene took to film.
We did.
This has got to be many days.
Gallop throughs with lots of stunt players on the ground.
I think there was like 250 horses just barreling through, and we had big safety lanes for guys. I mean, they weren't that big, but the horses were good enough that they ran down it.
That is
The
amazing.
horses rode into them like that, you know, and the guys at the front would hurl themselves backwards, and the illusions were very strong that they'd been hit.
That is very good. More camera tricks. Oh yeah. You guy's amazing at falling on his back.
Close calls, but everyone came through unscathed.
Apart from the two metal things for your
It's to be
face.
expected with horses. Never a dull moment. They're charging at you.
When you're doing a bit of a charge scene or something, you just hang on like Grimm's death, because if you're in the front, you don't want to fall
Grimm's
off,
death?
You think about the other 250 riders are going to run over top of you.
One charge
Oh.
across the plains, one of the leading guys fell off his horse.
His saddle
Oh,
slipped
no.
right down underneath the horse, and he actually came off with horses, 200 horses coming behind him, and they managed to step around him.
All the
I mean, it was
horses
bound to
behind
happen,
just
wasn't it?
Swerved. One or two jumped over top of him.
I was convinced he would have to die.
Oh my
And then
God.
they all galloped past, and at the end he stands up and he was completely unscathed.
It's actually in the
Fortunately, we
movie,
had
I hope
no
so.
real
I like that
horse
sort of thing.
collisions. Nobody got
As long as
hurt.
he is okay.
You go to enormous efforts to make a film good, but you don't want to hurt people. You know what I mean?
Or
We've
burps.
got to have those. We've got to have the three guys in front, and Bernard's got to ride in front of them again. Are we sure that there's enough room up there for Bernard to do that? I mean, it looks good where they are.
Bernard had come up with this idea of a sort of a ritualistic warrior kind of thing that the king would do with his frontline troops, which was riding along the front row, holding out his sword
yeah.
as they put their spears down and sort of rattling.
Oh,
the
yeah, I
sword
bet
along
this
the,
took a little bit to get
shafts
used
of
to.
the spears and creating this sound.
I don't know. I thought, would it be great for the final kind of rousing battle thing for Hell in No Fields? You know, you can kind of just, if I could ride down the line of spears and all that kind
Oh,
of
is he
thing.
saying it's his idea?
I then began to
Amazing
sell
if
it
so.
to Pete.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
He bought it, so I had to learn how to ride to make it look good.
Look at that, guys. You wouldn't expect he wouldn't be able to ride properly.
250 riders, you know, a lot of whom I knew. So I wasn't going to make a fool of myself. So that kind of spurred me on, really.
He actually generated enough enthusiasm and enough power that we really thought we were doing it. And when he said charge and we're calling death, 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 it was deafening.
Oh, that's cool.
It was not hard to get caught up in the moment.
Oh, that's
You know,
awesome.
that
Oh,
many
that's made me
horse
wanna
riders
be-
all built up in their armor, and Theoden, you know, egging them on to basically fight to the last man.
It was like this overwhelming kind of surge of energy, and then hammer went down.
You
and
could
we were
see
allowed
it in
to
the
gallop these
moment,
horses as
in the
fast as we
footage.
possibly could, swinging our weapons. It doesn't get any better than that.
200 odd horses just charging down this plain.
That is badass.
It was spectacular.
Literally, they would be halfway down and the ground was shaking.
Wow.
Those moments were phenomenal. I mean, the ride at the Rohirrim, in terms of film job experience, it's number one, without a doubt. And it'll take a long time to knock it off the top.
So it's amazing how little of that. I know that some of it obviously is still CG,
really
but that's
hard when you go on
amazing
a
how
film
many
and you
actual horses there
purchase a
were.
horse and then train it and turn it from an average horse into something that's, you know, a highly
This is
trained
amazing.
film horse that's done a great job, and then have at the end of the film have to walk away from it, you know, because you'll walk away with that sense that you may never see that horse again.
Oh.
When it came to the end of Pickup Shots 2003, and for the first time, all these horses that the
So
company
pretty.
had, I think it was about 8 of them, carried all the way through from right start to finish. They were all going to be sold. And the company offered them to all the riders first.
I actually
Oh, that's so sweet.
because I fell in love with him. He kept me safe. I kept him safe.
This is
Bless,
this is
I
my
love
horse,
that.
Sid. He was on the film for 3 years, from the time he was
Love
3
that
to the
shirt,
time
by
he
the
was
way.
6. He's one of the Rohan horses, and Gondorian and whatever else. You come up and say hi to the camera.
Retired now.
That kind of bond is something that people who've never been in that situation probably don't understand.
He's telling me he wants me to scratch his head, or
I can believe that.
he wants to go.
I always swore, right through this movie, that I would never buy one of the horses. And that I would in fact not buy a horse at all.
Is that
Hello to
Shadowfax?
all those people out there watching this movie, okay? Yeah, they're all watching you on this DVD.
So pretty.
I had a lapse in determination or concentration. I'm not sure which it was.
Is that Blanco
I
or
ended up buying Blanco.
Don Evil?
And, he sits up
Blanco,
late
it is Blanco.
at, home, and he's retired. He gets rid
Yeah.
of that, and he's
Happy
enjoying
days
life.
for Blanco. Oh wow, what's it doing there?
At
Fascinating.
the end of filming,
What was that
Vigo,
move all
He very
about?
much fell in love with Uraeus, and so he ended up buying him. And
Oh,
there's a scratch
bless.
here.
I think you guys have told me that actually. I love
I was
that.
looking after him for Vigo until he goes back to America at some stage.
I'm gonna call him Vigo earlier on, so
James,
as Vigo.
ideal
yeah.
person to watch over him and who knows him and who is trusted by him, you know.
Vigo's one of those people who is really down to earth, and I know that he was amazed at Jane's riding on Florian and Jane Abbott's riding. At the end of the shoot, I remember Jane saying one day, "Oh, I wish I could buy that horse, but he's an expensive horse, being a stallion."
I said, look, I love this horse.
Ah.
I'd so like to buy him at the end of filming. I didn't have any idea how on earth I was going to afford him.
I'm gonna get this
but I
ready.
knew that my bid wouldn't get as far as Wellington.
You know, the simple factor of the matter was there was someone else who wanted that horse, someone higher up in the department, and she didn't think she was going to be able to.
And I mean, Vigo heard about this, and so he said, well, I'll bid on him for you. And then I've still got the message saved on my phone where he says, hey, Jane, good news, I've got Florian, you know, you can go and, you know, he's at the farm, you can go and pick him up. And it was just like, oh my God. And I rang him and I said, thank you, that's brilliant, you know, how much do I owe you? You know, thanks so much for doing that. And he says, no, I want to give him to you.
No one else is more
That
deserving
is
than Jane to have that
amazing.
horse. She did all the riding on it, she made the horse look good, so I'm glad that it happened that way.
You know, that's just Vigo.
That's
You
gonna
know,
give
just
me
do it
a
'cause he
little bit.
understood. So I'm incredibly lucky.
Bless.
It was a lovely touch.
Vigo's a good egg, guys.
to give Jane that horse. And he's a lovely horse. Jane's
Oh, the
got him
doggy as well.
Pretty much tuned up as well. He
A
does all
muscular
sorts of
doggy
little
as well.
Tricks and various things.
You're so funny.
Tap dancing.
I think Lord of the Rings, it just took up everybody, as they came from everywhere. Just fantastic.
I love that there's an
Take my hat
entire
off to
half an
every
hour
single one
dedicated
of
to the
people
horses,
that-
guys.
That fronted up on horseback and was a part of that thing, because it was the hardest job that they'll probably ever do. And I think that people should never forget that one of the reasons why these films work so well is because the guy 100 horses out was doing his job. And I take my hat off to every one of you. I don't know where you are now, I don't know where you are, but thank you very much for making it a superb film.
What an image there, guys. My goodness. So beautiful. I freaking loved that, guys. That did not feel like half an hour. That really did not feel like half an hour. I fully expected it to be about, like the mythology of Rohan and so on and so forth, but no, that was purely about horses. I've got down here, there was a bit where Mary was riding a horse on his own. Not in the movie, but like backstage and everything. That doesn't happen, does it? Because we hear about how, Bilbo's great-grandfather or something once rode a real horse or something like that and invented golf. But yeah, I'm pretty sure there's no moment where Mary rides a horse on his own. Nah, it can't be. I don't think so. The things that they were saying about, you know, making it look like you're... You know what I'm saying. It's actually so true. Guys, it is. It's all about the hip movement and everything like that. Okay, so like I said, guys, I quite a while ago now, actually, I did actually learn how to ride, guys, on a lovely horse called Astro. Astro was amazing, just the most chilled out horse in the galaxy, which is exactly what I needed, because I never even sat on a horse before getting on the back of Astro. And Astro was a big horse. He's like one of these guys, in fact. But the most gentle soul in the world, though, and so that was perfect to learn. And yeah, I found it absolutely amazing. I found it... the place that I went to, sorry about this little tangent, guys, but I do want to mention, because this video is all about horses. This place where I learned how to ride and everything was very much about teaching the rider how to ride rather than get them to sit on a horse and, you know, pull the reins or anything and use the whip or anything like that. It wasn't about that at all. It was purely about getting the rider to learn to essentially ride the horse without thinking. And it really was, guys. It was the most surreal thing. When I was on the back of Astro, and, you know, this is one of my first ever lessons. And this is true. this is before I say it. To anyone who doesn't ride horses, this might sound a little bit strange. The instructor said, now just imagine the horse turning left. And I did that, and the horse blooming turned left. So it is incredible how sensitive these horses are to picking up, I say body language, but like, you know, the force, as far as I was concerned, it certainly felt like that. And the fact that they had to get to know the horses beforehand absolutely makes sense, guys. You know, they always say don't work with children or animals when it comes to, like, you know, television and things like that. You know, despite the fact that horses are incredibly intelligent, you know, it can be, you know, to the detriment. You know, the fact that the thing they were saying about action, so fascinating. The fact that you say action and oh, okay, something's about to happen, is it? All the horses, completely breaking scene. It's so blooming true, guys, and that is the case with dogs as well. Penny, my previous dog, was the worst for this, but Woozle does it as well, though. Where we're out on a walk, and there's something which I think, oh, okay, there's a dog on the lead there, I better get Woozle back, and something like that. Or, you know, I notice something which means, okay, I need to act, I need to get Woozle over to me. With Penny, it'd be Penny, and instead of coming, I'd say Penny, and instead of coming back to me, but Penny would just go, oh, something's going on, is it? I start looking around to see what it is that's going on. Woozle does that a bit, but Penny was terrible for that. She really was. And so it's so fascinating with the horses. They had to start using different words like Christmas tree for action. Is actually brilliant. Poor Faramir. He looked like he had a rough time. Faramir was one of the Weasleys, right? I'm pretty sure that actor was. I'm pretty sure he was. But yeah, just taking off of him. And the thing is, I guess in that situation, you don't want to like pull on the reins or anything, or like crack the reins or anything like that. You just gotta let the horse do its thing. If you're not confident in a horse, you can't be telling the horse what to do. It's kind of my philosophy, you know. There was another horse which golly, there we go. It was So Astro was very similar to looking horse to this, in fact, same colour and everything. I think a little bit lighter, actually, with a little bit of white. Golly, which was the other horse that I rode on, was a bit younger and a little bit more crazy. Well, not crazy. Okay, Astro was literally the perfect horse to learn how to ride on. Golly was almost the perfect horse to ride on. That's probably the best way I could put it there. Yeah. It's definitely a lot more energetic, you know. But yeah, Golly was like quite similar to Blanco. A bit skinnier than Blanco. Oh yeah, is this... No, this isn't Blanco, but this is definitely what Golly was like, because Golly had these grey spots and everything, so that's definitely the horse which is more similar to. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I found it fascinating learning to ride, guys, but my goodness, the leg strength. To do it properly, again, you can sit anyone on a horse and, mistreat the horse into doing what you want. But if you want to do it so you are riding with the horse, and so there's never any impact on its back, which is the main thing. Your leg strength has to be able to carry yourself, basically doing squats in midair for a long time, which can be quite difficult. But it was awesome though. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I love horses, guys. I am a doggy person. That's never going to change. In fact, it was when I was learning that I saw a lurcher, and I thought that lurcher is absolutely gorgeous, and then I ended up getting a lurcher in Woozle. Which I might be posting another video on today, guys. If you've got this far through, I think I might be posting another video today, actually all about Woozle. Sadly, a few years later, I found out that Astro had passed away. I mean, Astro was getting on, and I think that he was essentially retiring when I was learning, and so, but the best horse in the galaxy to learn how to ride on, seriously, apart from one day. And again, the horses know the force, I swear. The horse is with you. There we go. I was on the back of Astro. Sorry about this. Sorry, guys. I wasn't expecting this video to be all about horses, and so now I'm just gushing about horses. I was on the back of Astro in a paddock once. And there was a teacher there as well. Now think about it. And we're just like riding around, like, doing circles and everything, going up to like canter and stuff like that. No, we were just walking around at this point, actually, probably doing some sort of directional training or something. And all of a sudden, like, Ashley, like, sort of like, I don't know what he did. I don't know what he did physically, but the teacher said, "Oh, hang on, something's wrong here." And Ashley sort of like just like stopped, and all of a sudden, God knows how they picked up on this. The teacher, or the horse, but suddenly this pigeon came down from the top of the paddock, because it was like a roofed paddock, and a pigeon came down and flew right past Astro's head, and Astro, like, say he was facing this way, went like that, with me on the back of him, completely flipped around. He was obviously freaked out. I was not thrown, which is amazing. I actually thought, okay, I must actually be better than I was expecting, because the way that Astro moved was crazy, and the fact that I was able to stay on the back of him was, testament to their training anyway. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed learning how to ride, guys. It was actually quite a wonderful thing. Vigo was a good egg, guys, and I'm pretty sure that in the comments it's been mentioned how he made sure that he kept like a horse or a couple of horses. The story about the stunt rider here, though, that is just so sweet, and I knew that it was going to make me tear up a little bit, because it was building up to it. You know what I mean? But that's really nice that the riders got first dibs. That is actually really awesome. And obviously, a lot of these riders are going to have paddocks themselves, and so that is adorable. And yeah, this thing was freaking. I don't mean Peter Jackson. This thing was terrifying, guys. And I asked it last time, guys, and I'm going to ask it again. After you've watched these documentaries, and then you see, where is it? It's around here. Yeah. When you watch these documentaries, and it comes up, and then you go back to watching the movies again, does it spoil these scenes for you in any way? Especially now, what you know what he's thinking as well, what he has to try and look like he's doing. Okay, I feel like I need to wrap this video up before I get kicked off YouTube. Percy was a very pretty horse as well, but yeah, the thrusting does make sense. Oh man, this was a treat, guys. I was not the phony pony and the Bowerig. My good, the Bowerig's definitely the better one of the two, but I don't have the phony pony, the prancing pony. So it could have been the phony prancing pony. The PPP. Phony spelled with a P, right? Oh, I don't know. I'm dyslexic. Either way, guys, I was not expecting such a treat as this video. I really wasn't, guys. I thought it was going to be about Rohan for half an hour. But it was half an hour, the fastest half an hour in the world, about horses and how to pretend that you're doing something whilst on the back of a fake horse. Amazing. Mary's face there. Oh man, it's so crazy. So, for some reason, I wouldn't have expected this sort of thing to be in it, but of course you're going to want this sort of thing to be in it. You know, rigs and fake horses and everything, of course, but, but even at the end when it was showing the battle scenes, when I first watched the movies, I'm sure that part of my head was thinking, okay, so quite a bit of this is going to be CG. A lot of it wasn't CG, guys. A lot of it wasn't CG. Amazing. Absolutely amazing, guys. This has put I don't know. It's given me energy. It's given me energy, this video has. It really blooming has. This was lovely. I love horses, guys. I'm a doggy person forever, but I do appreciate a good horse. Don't know what I meant by that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. This was an absolute blooming treat. Let me know what you want me to check out in the future. If we carry on in the playlist, I believe that the next ones that we're going to be checking out are the music of Middle-earth, which will be very interesting. I'd imagine that might get claimed by YouTube, but that's not by YouTube, claimed by the soundtrack. But that's fine. We can survive that. But I'm looking forward to that. Mainly the Shire thing, quite frankly. I want to hear the thought process behind that, and a little bit about Enya. Because if you watch my Lord of the Rings videos, guys, I thought Enya was going to be a force, throughout the Lord of the Rings series. But what she really, she was in it less than I was expecting. It's not a criticism, but I'm looking forward to watching these music videos. Also, Lord of the Rings, Orlando cracks his rib and Viggo breaks his toe. Oh, I've heard about the toe story. Have I heard about the rib story? I'm sure that they beat the living bobbins out of themselves. Particularly in the scenes where they're like just running across the fields and everything. Oh, the stuff about the rabbit hole. How blooming smart was that, guys? So true. I would not have thought of that. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap this up because I spent way too long talking about my own experience in riding horses, but this was amazing. This is absolutely adorable, seriously. This was a brilliant watch, and I'm so glad they had a video, half an hour video, guys. I mean, it's just a little bit shorter than the Fellowship, the casting video, so that is amazing. So it shows how much they appreciate the hard work the horses did. Please subscribe, all the good stuff. I'm VeggieKnights, and I'll see you next time.